Today, we take a look at some badass covers of the song Halloween by the Misfits. Let's check it. It's my favorite time of year, October. Well, Halloween. Around Halloween. Kids are being practical jokers, parents are having anxiety attacks, trying to figure out how the hell am I going to afford Christmas this year? And that useless, gluttonous holiday called Thanksgiving is right around the corner. One of my favorite bands of this season is the Misfits. Without question, without the Misfits paving the way, a lot of bands wouldn't exist today due to their influence, and I include myself in there as a musician. To pay homage to the Misfits, many bands have covered their songs throughout the years. With everyone from Green Day and Sum 41 to Volbeat and Metallica, they've all tipped their hats to the kings of horror punk throughout the years. But today, in particular, we're going to take a look at one song, because it's that time of year, and the song is Halloween, and all of the bands who have done awesome covers of that song. So let's get into it. First up, we really can't get into it without talking about the original song, Halloween, which was recorded in 1981 and released on Halloween of that same year. Little fun fact, is also the first album that dropped that referred to the band as just Misfits and dropped the whole "the" pseudonym at the beginning of the name. One of the first recorded versions of this that I've ever heard by a band other than the Misfits was AFI. From their 1999 Hollows EP, the Hollows EVP, which is what I've always called it, which actually turns 20 years this year. This Halloween cover was one of 4 songs off of that EP, which was just 13 minutes long, where half of the songs on it were used for the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video game, iconic as hell, and also used in Jim Carrey's Me, Myself, and Irene. The Dropkick Murphys cut their Halloween cover back in 2000 on their Back to the Streets EP, which was then later used for a Tribute to the Misfits compilation. What I like about this one is that it's kind of like the Dropkick Murphys just wrote a song and made it a little darker. They still have all the quips and bells and whistles that a Dropkick Murphys song would have. It's a Misfits song. Next up is The Unseen. The Unseen cut this song off of their The Sound of Rebellion Volume 2 compilation soundtrack. If you're not into hardcore punk, then this isn't your cup of sweat, but it's definitely worth listening to. It's The Unseen, which is one of my favorite hardcore punk bands next to the Casualties. Next up is Samhain, this is kind of cheating. It's Glenn Danzig's band after his departure from the Misfits. And he didn't do Halloween 1, he did Halloween 2, which is the B-side to the Halloween EP. There was Halloween 1 on one side, Halloween 2 on the other, just 2 songs. Samhain was more of a death rock and super heavy metal infused style of horror punk than the Misfits, which was Danzig's previous band. Samhain was originally the side project for Danzig that later merged into Danzig. But it's cool that a song that powerful can kind of move over from one band to the other. It just shows the power of a song. Sick Figures. Now this is not a hugely well-known band, but it's a folk rock band, kind of similar to the Dropkick Murphys, but more of a folk influence. And they kind of infuse this song as their own bluegrassy way. Dropkick Murphys are a little different. It's more like Celtic. That's Celtic punk. This is you're gonna have to give it a listen. All this stuff is gonna be linked up below, by the way. And they released this in 2014 as kind of a one-off. It's really cool. Again, it just shows the power of a song. How many genres can this move from one to another? Moving from one genre to another is the band Winds of Plague. They're a symphonic deathcore band that paid homage to the Misfits' Halloween song on their 2009 The Great Stone War LP as a bonus track. I mean, this band is heavy, and for them to pull this off is pretty amazing. Just like a Samhain song is kind of like trick-or-treaty sounding. It's a cover of a cover. This is by Cradle, Filth. And what I mean by cover of a cover is the Misfits actually covered their own cover. Because, as I said, Halloween was side A, and Halloween 2 was side B. And side B was a cover of side A, if that makes sense. And then Cradle Filth covered Halloween 2, which is side B. So it's a cover by the original band. Anyway, Cradle Filth covered this in 2006 Halloween 2 that is, for the Underworld Evolution soundtrack, and then later put it on their Thornography LP, which is my favorite Cradle of Filth album by far to date. Last but not least is Alkaline Trio's version of this song. The song is so haunting because it's so slow and so stripped down that it's just basically half the tempo, basically just piano and Matt Skiba singing. And then the video is creepy as hell. If you haven't seen the video, it shows a bus full of kids going off of a cliff. Like I said again, I'm gonna link up everything below. And this version was released in October of 2002. So a lot of these versions of these songs are over 20 years old, and you know, they're still killing it to this day, pun intended. And the influence is so wide. I mean, you have everyone from the Unseen, Cradle of Filth, AFI, the Dropkick Murphys, Alkaline Trio. It's such a broad spectrum of bands that have been influenced by just this one band. It just goes to show what the song can do and what the band can do. And without them, who would be who today? But anyway, I felt this necessary, being it was this time of year that I threw this little video together for one of my personal favorite Misfits songs. I mean, it's everyone's favorite Misfits song. I go on all day for Die Die My Darling, Scream, Hybrid Moments, TV Casualty. We used to be a really awesome tag team in wrestling. But that's it, guys. Hope you like watching this, and let's roll the outro. Hey guys, we're at that part of the video where you should like and subscribe. And after the video is over, comment on some stuff. What did you like? What did you not like? What should I do next? Something like that. There's more to this channel than just the whole YouTube thing. I post daily blogs on thepoppunkdad.com, which features daily reviews and interviews from awesome bands from around the globe. Head on over to the Pop Punk Dad merch shop where you can find cool things like that right there. It helps the channel out and it lets me know that you love me. I have a weekly podcast called the Pop Punk Dadcast, which is on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Please subscribe. And hey, while you're at it, after this video, cruise on around and check out other content that tickles your fancy. Interviews with awesome bands, vlogs, cover songs, and more. You can check out all my socials, my IG, my FB, my Snapchat, and my Twitter at the Pop Punk Dad. And above all else, guys, stay pop punk. Later.